Hi everybody, it's me, Aaliyah Mims of www.ltheoryexperience.com. And hey Sophia, thank you for joining me while I'm getting started. Hi Joelle, I'm fixing my hair. Y'all, I'm on vacation from my day job. Hi Mitch D. So I am definitely in chill mode. So for those of you guys that have seen my scopes before, usually I'm all makeup down, hair done, all of that. But today I'm just relaxing around the house. So I wanted to, hi my rich friends. So I wanted to get you guys on this scope today because I want to tell you a little bit about vision boards and a lot of the mistakes that I see going on out there now that everybody is talking about vision board creation this season. So first, if this is your first time joining me, I'm Aaliyah Mims of www.ltheoryexperience.com, and that's my site. I'm a life coach and I share my experiences with divorce, infertility, and bad finances, helping to empower other people break those dysfunctional patterns as I've discovered a process that really works for myself. So just a little bit of housekeeping. If you see a little man icon down in the bottom, if you click that, that's how you share this scope if you're interested. Or you might see hearts coming up on the screen. That's just for people that feel like, yes, this point is really hitting home, so they double tap the screen. So without further ado, let me jump into my topic. So everybody has been on this vision board wagon. Give me a heart or leave a comment if you've seen at least one post or one tweet about join my party to make vision boards. I don't know about y'all, but it's inundating my timeline. And a few things have really jumped out at me about, no, this is not what you should be doing when you're creating vision boards. And I know this because I've actually studied the ancient art. Yes, it is an ancient art. And I've done presentations and workshops about this before. So there are some big things that are glaring errors that I want to point out to you all so that as you create your own board this season, that you do not fall into these traps. Because I really want your vision board to help manifest what you want on it. And I've been doing vision boards since 2006. And every single version of the ones that I've created literally have come to fruition. So I want to give you guys some of those tips. The first thing that you have to know is that vision boards is not some new trendy thing. It actually is rooted in the ancient art of feng shui. And if you know anything about feng shui, or if this is your first time hearing about it, feng shui is an ancient art that really studies the energy flow based on room setup, based on the way energy flows throughout a room, based on color. And they are not something that just came all willy-nilly. This is an ancient tradition that goes back thousands of years. And within feng shui, there's something called a bagua, and I could be mispronouncing it, so I can spell everything, but basically the idea of a bagua is that you create a visual representation of your home, and each center of your home stands for something, and you create this visual representation to enhance the energy in that place in your home and in that part in your life. So that's the first thing. Do not jump into this art without knowing truly what it is, because you do yourself a disservice and you do it wrong. If you want to know any more about feng shui and about baguas, I highly recommend a book called Feng Shui Your Life. I'll give you a link for that at the end. It's not one that I've created, but it's one that I've studied and read over the years. The second mistake, so the first mistake that I said with vision boards is not knowing the history and not knowing the root. And when you don't know something, I'm not even talking about cultural appropriation. I'm just talking about doing it improperly and doing it wrong. So you won't be able to get the full benefit out of it. So Sophia, I agree with you. Vision boards are so powerful, and every single year that I create one, I would say 90% easily come to fruition for me. The second thing that I see a lot of people making this mistake is that they're focusing on a wish list. I see people creating this board and they're like, I want a new car. I want a check for $1,000 or $1 million. I want a husband. I want a wife. I want this beautiful mansion. Vision boards are not a wish list. It is a manifestation of how you want to be in this upcoming year or in this season in your life. You should be focusing on, who do I want to be as a person? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience so that my life can be better and more abundant? So if you are creating a vision board of your wish list, you are doing it wrong. And that brings me to the next point. I'm sorry. I'm just like shaking my head just because I see these mistakes over and over and over again. Thank you for those hearts because, Sophia, that's your color. I know that this is telling me that you've seen the same thing and you just want to wring people's necks. When I talk about your way of being, I'm talking about your intention for your life. Each one of us has a purpose in life that is unique to us, and we are on this planet to fulfill that purpose. And so you need to be creating intentions, meaning that, and when I say intention, I mean a specific actionable way of being that you have actually written out. This is how I intend to be. It's talking about your feelings. It's talking about your emotions. It's talking about your spirit. That is what your vision board is supposed to represent, how you intend to be. When you do that, when you focus on the being and the intentions and not the things, you actually expand your life to receive more of your ways of being. Oftentimes we think that the only way to be loved, for example, is to be married. So we focus on our vision board. We're going to put marriage. Do you know that there's many ways to be loved and there's many relationship types that we can have? So when you focus on your way of being, you invite more of that into your life and you actually create more opportunities to be than you had if you had only narrowed yourself to one specific way that should look. My fourth step is, and it's a two-part step. You should not make your vision board cluttered. There is nothing that irritates me more than seeing a vision board, hey, Jaquel, full of junk. And when I say full of junk is you have to think about, okay, I'll use myself for an example. I'm an educator by day. And one of the things that bothers me is when I go into a room that has so many posters and so many things on the wall, it makes me feel overstimulated. Hi, my natural right. And so when you do the same thing with the vision board and you have just all of this stuff on it, it overstimulates you and it actually creates a spirit of anxiety and overwhelmed feeling. Is that a word? Overwhelmedness? If not, I'm going to make it up. And when you create that spirit in your space of all of this stuff on your board, it makes you feel overwhelmed and that ends up defeating the purpose of your vision board. So you need to create some balance on that board and think about what's the balance between too much on it. And at the same time, you don't want a lot of emptiness. You don't want this huge board with just aspects on it and then the rest of it is empty. Because again, like I was saying in the earlier points, that your vision board is going to represent how your life is going to be this year. So if it's too empty, what do you think that's representing? At the same time, if it's too cluttered, that brings that spirit of anxiety. So for my folks that are just jumping on right now, thank you guys so much for the hearts. I'm going to do a quick recap of the top 4. And if you are just jumping on, I highly encourage you to watch the Periscope replay so that you can get the full explanation behind it. But the first mistake I mentioned was not knowing the true roots in the history behind feng shui. Not behind feng shui, but between vision boards, that this is not some new trendy thing that everybody, every blogger, every life coach, every whoever is trying to do. The second thing that's a big mistake is people using it as a wish list about, I want $1 million, I want a car, I want a house, I want this new boo or whatever. That's not what a vision board is about. The third thing that I talked about was focusing on too many material items and not your intention for your life. And so I just described what the difference between an intention and things. And then the fourth one is having either too much clutter on your vision board or leaving it too empty. It needs to be a balance. And I talked in the first point about where that history and where that tradition of balance comes from. The fifth thing, and this is again related to knowing the feng shui behind vision boards, is not being intentional about the colors and the energy that are represented on your board. Believe it or not, and this is regardless if you're a spiritual person or a religious person, even the science world talks about how colors all vibrate on a different frequency. There's a reason why your eye perceives red, or a reason why your eye perceives blue or darkness. So because colors literally are energy waves, you need to be thoughtful around which colors you're representing in your vision board, because each color has a different representation and brings a different energy. Think about it this way. Sophia, I'm so glad you're liking this. If you were in a bedroom full of black walls, and this is not saying one is negative or positive, think about how you would feel. Think about how you would feel if you were in a bedroom full of white walls. Think about if you're in a bedroom full of red walls. Each of those feelings bring about a different emotion. And so you need to be thoughtful around what are the colors that you're representing on your own vision board so that you can bring around the energy and the emotion that you intend. Again, a great book for that is Feng Shui Your Life. And I don't know why the name is escaping me right now, who's the author of that. But you can just do a Google search and think of and learn more about what do colors represent, so that as you're creating your intentions for your board, that you are really thoughtful around yes, color therapy. So I would say look at color therapy. If you are Catholic even, or if you're from a religious tradition, a lot of religious traditions have colors that represent different things. You can look up Feng Shui and the representations of colors. There are an abundance of resources out there, so I'm not going to tell you this is the one way that you should do it. And honestly, you should be very wary of anybody that's saying this is the way to do vision boards, because unless they're coming from an ancient tradition, I'm not hearing it. And I'm not going to take your money to tell you the same thing. But you need to be thoughtful around colors because it brings to the energy. Now, here's my last point. I'm going to take a deep breath because I need y'all. If you don't hear anything else, if you are just new to the scope, you need to hear this point. You should absolutely not share your vision board with anyone. If you are posting it on Facebook, if it is in your living room, if you're taking pictures of it and putting it all over Instagram, you might as well just throw your vision board away. Because when you share your vision board publicly, what you are doing is you are inviting everyone's energy into your board. Do you invite everybody into your bedroom when you're having adult relationships? I don't think so, because that's a private energy between and a private intimacy with you and your partner. I know many people don't even invite people in their home if they have bad energy. So why in the world are you taking pictures of your vision board and putting it all over social media? If you go to a class and they encourage you to take pictures and let's post this vision board so everybody can see it and share our work, that person does not know what they're doing. And maybe this is the old school black woman in me, but there's something not right about that spirit. So I'm telling y'all now, that is not right. If nothing else, that is the number one rule that I want you to follow. Also, I would even be careful about creating vision boards around people that you don't know their spirit. Because again, you are exposing something so intimate and so personal that this is not for everyone's consumption. I'm just floored whenever I see, join my vision party. We're going to do this and take pictures and post it all over the internet. I don't even want to show my underwear to the world. So I'm damn sure, excuse me, Nicole, I know you said not to curse, but I really feel this about not showing my vision board to the world. You will never see a picture of mine. And if you do see a picture of mine, it's meaning it's one that's no longer in use and it's already been retired. And so I might show you a glimpse of it. But y'all, exactly, Jaquel, I'm the same way. I only show mine to people I trust. So even in my own home, which obviously are people I trust, mine is not on display in a public area. I have a private closet in my bedroom, and that's a place that I see personally every day so they can continue to ingrain that intention in my head. But it's not even something I want my child walking by all of the time because it's not for her consumption. That's something personal between me, my spirit, and God. And I really want you all to treat your vision boards the same way. So before I jump off, I want to take your questions because I know that for a lot of people, vision boards are something that's new, and I'd love to answer your questions about it. So what do you guys have questions about, or what kind of things have you done with your vision board that have been really positive and helpful for you? And while you do that, I'm going to look for some chapstick in my drawer. I'm in my bathroom, y'all. Best lighting. Oh, can't get to my makeup that easily. Well, if you don't have any questions right now, if you have more questions, feel free to email me, and you can get my contact information on all my social media. Liberation, my vision has changed a bit. I'm not sure if it's changed or if I've given up on some things. I didn't even plant her here, y'all, but I'm so glad that you brought that up, Jaquel, because our visions should be changing. We are dynamic people, and are you deciding if you should do a new one? I'm so glad you brought that up. We are dynamic people. You just did them and kept up with yours. Okay. Our vision for our life is constantly evolving as we evolve. So I actually have a new course. It's a mini course for y'all that I really want to share with you because it's going to help you get clear around what should your vision be for this year? What should you be focusing on? What kind of goals should you have? And so go to my website, www.ltheoryexperience.com, and click at the shop. In there, you will see a new course that I have that's really teaching you around what kind of vision should you be setting for this year. Because one of the things I know is that a lot of times people don't have their goals come true because they're focusing on the wrong goals or the wrong strategy. And vision board is just one of those types of strategies. So if you're struggling and you're not quite sure how you want 2016 to be for you and what kinds of things should you be putting your energy into, I highly recommend you go to my shop and download that course. It's a downloadable course. It's mostly video, so you don't have to sit there and read through tons of information. And I've added some additional bonuses to it. If you are new, and actually since you guys have spent some time and you got to the end of my Periscope video, I do want to give you a promo code because I can't wait to Black Friday. Everybody's doing Small Business Saturday and Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but I'm so impatient. I'm like, I need people to, thank you. I'm so glad you liked my last course. Well, this one, if you like my last course, this one is even better. I want to give people some really good information right now because you should be signing up. You should be creating your goals before the January 1st. If you're starting on January 1st, boo, you late. So here's your promo code. If you go to www.ltheoryexperience.com, the promo code is Black Friday 2015. Black Friday 2015. And that'll give you 20% off. I don't know about y'all, but I hate Black Friday specials when they say, oh my God, Black Friday, you get 5% off. 5%? Really? 10%? Let's think about it. 10% on $100 is only $10. What am I going to do with $10? That's my Starbucks daily habit. So I wanted to give you guys, where can people find me on social media? So on Instagram, blah, 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 blah. On Twitter, you can find me at the same handle on my Periscope. That's Liberation Theory and LIBER, the number 8 in Theory. Also on Instagram, you can find me on Liberation Theory. This all spelled out, no fancy numbers. You can find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/LTheory. But easily, the best place that I would strongly suggest you go is go to my website because you will get all of the links to my social media accounts there. My website is www.ltheoryexperience.com. And if you want to know a little tidbit, the L is for liberation. The L is for love. The L is for life. I really want to help you all have your absolute best life because if you've seen my previous scopes, you know that I've literally been through hell and back, and 2015 has been the most amazing year of my life, and I really want to empower you to have the most amazing year of your life. So, quick recap. Know the roots and history of vision boards. Stop making it a wish list and focus on a way of being. Don't focus on too many material things. Have a balance between too much clutter, too much emptiness. Be intentional about the colors that you choose. And do not, XXXXX, do not share it with the world. If you want to know more about how to set your goals and your intentions for this year, go ahead and download my new mini course, Redesign Your Life and Activate Your Goals on www.ltheoryexperience.com. Thank you, everybody.